Feet on the earth, hearts in this moment. Let's begin.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Brenda. um, how are you today?
I'm good. Did you have a good Halloween?
Yeah, yeah. No, other than fighting with tech all week.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were at my mother-in-law's, which is really awesome. She calls herself a houseplant. She is very much a loner and
Okay.
kind of likes being by herself most of the time. And when we're around, she's kind of like me, where she likes to spend quality time with you, but it's just you guys being in the same room together. And that's all we need. And I am perfectly happy with that. And John has finally settled into he can just do puzzles. But uh yeah, I look forward to spending time with my mother-in-law because I mean, I love her, but also we get I just spend a lot of time like screwing around, doing
Right.
fun things that I want
Right.
to do. And I was working on projects. Well, my plan was to work on projects, and instead I fought with tech. Yeah, it started with Spotify. So for everybody who's wondering what's going on, Spotify require or at like they partner with Riverside.fm to do like that's where we do the editing.
Right.
And I pay for Riverside so that I have access to their royalty free music so that we have the music at the beginning and the end and like anything that I want to do there. So I pay for that so that we're good. And they work with Spotify. Well, apparently something in their system messed up and they started flagging all of the ones that use this music. And so at least 2 episodes were blocked and are still blocked right now because Spotify said they will respond in 7 to 10 business days. Riverside has already gotten back to me and explained that, you know,
This is what
this,
happened.
yeah, this is what they explained what happened and, that it is known and Spotify is supposed to be working on it. And they're like, but we can't do anything. So it's just a waiting game right now, waiting for Spotify. But it was a lot of arguing with them. And then I tried to get back into my Facebook. I can use Facebook on my phone only. I cannot log in anywhere because I'm stuck in this stupid authentication loop because I had set up two-factor authentication like years ago with Google Authenticator. Well, now for some reason it's not talking to each other and they did an update back in the summer, which is when I lost access to it, where it caused a lot of people who had that two-factor authentication set up to where it's not talking to each other and we're like in this endless loop of not being able to authenticate. So, and it's something that I found on like Reddit, like everybody, there's a bunch of people on Reddit that are like, yep, it's been years. Like, cause it happened before too. And so, I did find out that if I paid for the stupid blue check mark that they like, cause when you try to get help on Facebook, like there's no you can't talk to a
I
person.
never try to get help on Facebook.
So you can't actually talk to a person unless you pay for the little blue check mark. So I paid for it. It was the first month was only like $1.25, but still. um they literally like they have to verify your identity when they do that. So I paid them money so that they could check my ID and make sure that it is me. So I've went through a verification process with them. They know I am the one that's in control of this account that I've literally had since high school.
Yeah.
So I fought with them for multiple days. And they finally came and I kept being like, you need to take me higher up. You need to take me higher up because obviously you're not fixing it. I need to get this fixed.
Right.
Because right now I can't um use any of my scheduler for any of like my personal stuff. I was able to finally get it hooked up because I have to it's like every 3 months or something you have to like reconnect it. So I can only do it on the laptop. Like they won't let me do it through my phone. So I'm stuck. So
And that affects not just your personal, but is that affecting like the school thing?
it
So,
was, and then I realized John, I made an admin of all of those pages, and then I logged into John's Facebook so that I could set it up so I can now use the content studio, my scheduler, for my
Yeah.
pages. I just can't use it for like my personal Facebook, my Instagram, my threads, which is what I use to do all of my like networking within the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the tough part when you depend on social media for work. If people can't get a hold of you,
Hmm.
then, like I just last year, I think it was last year. Yeah, I think it was like during the election or whatever, like or right, maybe it was January right after the election when Elon was psychopath and all the
I mean, he's still
garbage.
a
He's
psychopath.
still a psychopath, but
He's a
all this
quieter psychopath.
he's quieter right now, yeah, but all the garbage was going on, and I just remember thinking, like, through Facebook was gonna become non-existent, or, we weren't gonna be able to be on it because of all this garbage, and Meta and Zuckerberg, and that's where Threads is here, let's do Threads, and I remember reaching out to a few of my friends on Facebook that I'm just basically Facebook friends with. Like I've never, well, I've met a couple people, and I said, let's just get each other's phone numbers just in case, because, I don't want to lose contact with you.
Yeah.
Even if social media crashes or who knows what the hell's happening, I want to be at least have
Yeah. No,
contact with
that's a
you.
good idea.
But like there's a lot of people that I'm friends with that I communicate with through Facebook that
Mhm.
I don't have their numbers, and
Mhm.
I don't necessarily want to have their numbers.
Yeah. No, like the other day, I went over to my friend Carissa's. We've been best friends for years, like at least 10 years. And they hadn't unlocked their door yet because they live in an upstairs apartment. So they hadn't unlocked the door for us yet. So I went to call them and I was like, I don't have your phone numbers.
Isn't that crazy? Because we always
Because we
message,
contact
we always
through
just message.
Facebook Messenger
I
all the
have
time.
your cell phone number. Like I don't have my cell phone
Mhm.
number. I don't think I have. I might have Allison's cell phone number. But yeah, there's a lot of people that I just communicate with through Facebook
Mhm.
that I don't even know how to contact them outside of I don't even know their names.
Yeah.
Like if you,
Like
like
their
even if
real
you,
name.
it's really like that. Yeah, I have to look on Facebook to
Yep.
know. Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
nightmare. I
And
noticed our
they basically,
podcasts are up on YouTube.
yes.
So they're there on YouTube. They're current on YouTube. You can listen and watch there. So and
And
while you try to figure out the Spotify, your Facebook garbage, the Spotify garbage.
yeah.
My goodness.
Well, and the best
I
part,
think you should.
so
I don't think you have enough on your plate.
yeah, so Facebook, they closed my case without
Without resolution.
resolution. They were basically like, "We can't help you." So they closed my case, they blocked my support, and now because I was trying to do the process with them.
Locked you out.
Well, I'm not like locked out, but I can't do anything in my admin stuff right now because it's put me on that like limit where it's because it thinks that it's being hacked.
Can you
Where if you get too many login things, then it will like,
you have other like admins on all your pages
yeah,
and your groups, right?
yeah.
So if you were to just remove yourself entirely from Facebook, like just close your account, could you reopen an account? Give yourself a slightly different name, like add letters or something after your name?
Possibly, but I really don't want.
Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame
Like
you. No, I don't blame you for not wanting to. Not to mention, if you close your account, what do you lose?
3.5K followers. Not friends,
Just
followers.
followers. Yeah. Well, and the only thing you could do is you put a message on there, and you wait a little while and just
Yeah. I don't know if it'll like because I've also seen where people have a hard time at getting an account again. So I'm like nervous to do that too.
I know I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So right now I'm just at a standstill.
The mercy of the robots, people were at
Yep.
that place. We were
I will try again before my renewal for the stupid blue check mark, because if it doesn't get fixed before that, I'm obviously going to like not pay for that anymore because that's bullshit.
yeah. It's funny. I just reopened. I mean, I just deleted the app off my phone of Instagram. And when I was out in California, there was a mobile groomer on my daughter's block. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna reach out and well, they're only on Instagram. So I thought, well, you know, you know me, I want to say hi. So I opened up my Instagram just so I could send a message. And even right afterwards, I thought, I don't do Instagram. So even if this person responds, I'm not likely to notice it because I don't do Instagram. So I think I'm going to just delete the app again because it's like, it's just not me.
Yeah.
Basically, I have Facebook. So if Facebook decides to fuck me over, I am just gone from social media because
Yeah.
I have very little interest in
No. I
trying
mean,
to relearn some other,
that's
I
valid.
even Threads. I have a Threads account, but it's like,
Yeah.
I just,
Honestly, the reason I was able to figure those out, ChatGPT.
yeah, and I could figure them out. Like I'm not, I can do it. I just haven't played around with it. And I haven't played around with it because I haven't really been forced to play around with it.
Yeah.
Because as long as I have a Facebook account,
You're good.
I'm good. But yeah, there's
I did
definitely
make
a
sure
chance
to,
that something could happen and we could all be
yeah.
off of Facebook.
I will say, if you are someone who like really relies on your Facebook, before you have a problem, pay for
Yeah, I
the
ain't paying for
verified.
shit.
Yeah.
I ain't paying for
I mean, but you also don't have as much of attachment to your
I
Facebook.
sure don't. I
But
sure
I'm
don't.
saying, if, like, I wish that I had done this before I had a problem, because I think they would have helped me better. Like you know, now I'm stuck in this like issue, but if I had already like done all of the stuff where I was verified and stuff, they probably wouldn't have as many red like blocks in place then, because I literally paid for verification then put in a support thing. I get that they have that kind of stuff. It's just, but I
They
would
need
suggest,
humans. They rely so much on just,
yeah, you could talk to a human when you
but then
pay
they
for it.
can't seem to figure out, but then
Yeah.
they can't override what's actually happening and
Yeah.
fix it. So you're
It's
still at
still
the mercy of
yeah.
the, the master computer. And
Yeah. But yeah,
Sorry,
if I had realized what kind of things come with paying for it, because it does offer a certain amount of protection and stuff like that, I probably would have gotten verified just to have more control over my account. As
but
much
now
as
you
I
have
fucking hate
no
that.
control.
I know.
So here you are. I mean, you're advocating for something that clearly didn't work for you.
I'm saying it might have worked if I had done it before I had a problem.
Maybe. But
I would have had a chance.
who reaches into shit when they don't have a problem though? That's the
No.
thing. You don't reach out until you have a problem. So I don't know.
I
don't have a
don't
blue
like
check.
it, Brenda.
I'm not paying for a blue check. Fuck them.
I said I don't like it. If
they
it was up
wanna
to me,
yeah.
I would say fuck Facebook and I'd be off of it in a
My
second.
only fear is I don't want to lose any.
I don't
what I
want to.
have.
I don't want to lose what I have there. I've worked
But
really hard to
but
get where I am.
I also know that social media is not real life. And while it's a tool, it is possible to have those connections outside of social media. We just got to put in more work,
Yeah.
like getting phone numbers, getting emails, using emails. I would suggest to anybody, if you're like, I'm trying to get more opportunities in like speaking engagements, is to get yourself on their mailing lists. Like
Yeah.
these like Barkley or whatever companies do shows, get on their mailing list so that you're always in the loop. So
Yeah.
you know when the shows are coming up, and you can, at the very, if you can't get on social media and see when the changes are happening, like we just found out about Teton, changing dates, then you'll have the emails.
Yeah.
And you'll be able.
I do make sure I do that, but
Yeah.
like, and like
That's different though for networking. You can't really network through an email.
Yeah.
You need a space. You need some kind of a chat space for doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So I
and I
get
do,
it.
yeah, a lot of my like the stuff that I do on social media is trying to reach more people,
Yeah,
and it's a really great tool for that.
it is.
And I've reached so many people,
Yes.
and I don't want to lose all that.
Yeah.
You
No, I
know,
get it. No, it's a big
like
deal.
it feels really weird to say it, but I'm a content creator,
Yeah.
and this is part of my job.
No, you're right. I get
So,
that.
and I kept it, I'm like, you don't realize I have worked for 15 years on getting where I'm at with this
Right.
Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I do get
Over
it.
15 years.
I do get it. I just also know that what are you going to do about it?
Gonna be mad about
You're
it.
going to be mad about it, but what are you going to do about
Nothing.
it?
I can't do anything about it.
Because that's the reality.
It's
There's
bullshit.
nothing you can do about it. It's out of your hands. So then you have to go to see what can I do? And what I can do is make sure I have emails and other
ways.
social medias.
I do make sure I have, so like if I lose access to any of my social medias, all of my link tree is on all of them.
Yeah.
So even if I can't respond, people can find other ways to contact me, which I have my email on there. Like there's plenty of non-social media ways to
Right.
contact me. So I do have that.
Right, but you also, I know you're at the mercy of people doing that, because the reality is if I'm used to talking to somebody via Messenger or Facebook, and all of a sudden they're no longer responding, I might not really think to go, well, I better contact them a different. I mean, it would depend on why I'm trying to contact them. Like if I was trying to contact somebody over like a show, a seminar, class or something, I would find another way to reach out.
Yeah.
Because, we have a working relationship and we need to contact. Whereas if I'm just, we're just social media friends.
Yeah.
And I like to follow this person and I can no longer see their content, I'm just not going to follow them anymore. I'm just going to, you know what I mean? And that's what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Is losing that.
Yeah.
And that's, it's too bad. It's too bad. It's such a freaking nightmare.
Yeah. So
nothing is simple, but.
So fuck you, Meta. Fuck you,
Careful. Careful. They might be listening. They're always listening. Well,
I mean, if they're listening at this point, why not? Just take it.
Well,
we start over. Why not?
I've had a good Halloween. We were out in California with the Grinds, and there was a lot of K-pop demon hunters out there.
I only saw one.
It's that funny.
Like, because we hand out candy at their.
We seen just in like
our house.
We went to a house, and there was two roomies coming down from the house, and my granddaughter was a roomie going up to the house, and somebody's like, "Look, 3 roomies." So I pointed out Cheerio was purple. Well, here's another one. She wasn't roomie, but I just thought it was funny that now there's 4. So, but yeah, there was lots of little demon hunters. Couple of derpies. So I wasn't really derpy.
I saw no derpies because we were handing out candy. No derpies. I one roomie and one
Zoe or Mira.
What's the one with the pigtails?
The dark-haired one with the pigtails is,
do they both have
Zoe. Yes, I think Mira has
the cute one.
My granddaughter was Mira, so that's the cute one.
Okay.
There was, I don't.
We're gonna say it's Mira.
I don't know which is which. To
but yeah, that's. I only saw one set.
And Bobby, my daughter was Bobby.
Oh, nice.
And we seen a couple of Bobbies, so that was funny. Their vests and their badges, so that was cute.
See, yeah. There was a really good Grinch, and it had a adorable Cindy Lou Who. She was so cute. She was better than the actress in the movie. It was just like, I just want to pinch your cheeks. So yeah, we saw that was a good one. My favorite, the standout, was definitely there was a kid dressed as a Target truck. He had it was the semi around the Target outfit.
Oh my God.
Like, fuck Target. but
Yeah.
he was so cute.
How about animals? Did you see any dogs in costume? I
Uh,
honestly didn't. Last year I
yeah,
seen some pugs, but they weren't in costumes.
yeah. There was
And
dogs, but none in
yeah,
costumes.
I
I
think
mean, this is South Carolina.
the one doodle that we seen was she had a bandana, but I don't remember any of the dogs having costumes. Cheerio was colored, so she was a hit.
I'm sure, yeah.
People were taking pictures of her in the airport. Yeah, and her tongue hangs out, so of course it just like makes it even better.
Even if she's not colored, like
Right,
that
right.
tongue.
That tongue out is like everybody just loves that tongue out. So yeah, so she was a hit. Yeah, it was.
Nibbler was wearing this.
Yeah, we had a good time though. It was very crowded. Usually there's a street by my daughter's house that they like for like 4 or 5 blocks long. Every single house is done up. And they've got these arches, these lit up arches that they literally you can just stand and look down the block, and they're just like every 2 feet. There's
That's
another
awesome.
arch. I mean, it's incredible. That block those blocks were so crowded, and they get more and more crowded as people learn about it. Right, people come to
Yeah.
do this. Right, I'm sure it happens everywhere. There's certain areas you go see lights and stuff, but it was so crowded, and there was so much traffic, vehicle traffic. Like normally there wasn't. We've been doing this Halloween out in California for I don't know 5 years, 6 years. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
I feel
the
like
oldest one
that
is
should be a
the
lot of
oldest
walking.
one is 7. I think we've missed 2 Halloweens out there. So 5 years we've been doing Halloween out there, and we've been going to this area for the last 4. But yeah, so it was just the vehicle traffic was ridiculous. But we met up with some other friends of theirs, and Toad, they were doing Mario, and she was Toad. And she was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna go up to this house and then we're gonna cross the street." I'm like, "Yes," because it was so busy. You
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. You could barely move, and it's like we're trying to watch multiple kids. And
Yeah.
so we went to like the one house. They called it the Wicked House because it's all done up like Wicked. It's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
And then we crossed and went back, and then the next block over, it was like night and day. Like it was great. I mean, lots of houses,
Yeah.
but it wasn't nowhere near as crowded. So
Yeah.
they got a good haul. They got a lot of candy. So
Yeah.
they did well.
John bought candy,
You can never
and
have too much
and
candy.
we do full-size candy bars. It's a pretty small neighborhood,
Yeah.
so it's not like we're getting a ton. And they got a lot of them got multiple candies because I was just like, here, take it,
Yeah.
take
I don't
it.
want to take it home.
I don't want to eat it. Don't make me eat this.
Yeah.
um, it was fun. I love watching the kids, and especially with the full-size candy bars, like their faces when they look into the
Wow.
bucket. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though
Um,
full size candy bars are not as big as they used to be.
yeah.
So they're
Um,
not nearly as impressive as when we were getting them.
but these kids are just like,
Oh, yeah. It's a big deal.
and then I tell them they can take 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy,
You must be rich.
rich in candy.
Yeah.
So
All
yeah,
right. Should we actually get into
yeah, maybe
our
we should do the thing.
what is this topic this
Yeah.
today? What
So
is
so today we're gonna talk about astrology. We're gonna kind of do from like very beginner stuff.
Yeah, this will be the condensed version, so we're not gonna go deep. We're not
I figure we're probably gonna
astrologists.
do more episodes in the future
Yeah, we can
where we
pick it
can
up.
go into it more.
Yeah, but this
But
will be a good little introduction.
yeah,
So
so
I will do my tarot right now. Can pull off the
oh,
cards.
Nibbler's dreaming.
All right, 9 of Pentacles. So let's see. It says fruits of labor, peace, rewards, self-sufficiency, emotional comfort, a lifetime achievement, maturity, independence. I mean, and I think the tarot can go with any topic, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it just depends on what's your sign, how much this how this relates to you individually.
Yeah.
A lifetime achievement stands out based on all this talk about social media building it and crumbling beneath you. All right.
That's my lifetime achievement, right, Nibs? He doesn't care.
All right.
So astrology is the study of how celestial patterns like where planets were when you were born, might reflect personality traits or life themes.
Right.
It is more about reflection and not prediction.
Yeah.
I think we talked about like in shadow work how it's
Yep.
kind of meant to be more of like learning yourself.
And I have astrology is the art of reading the stars to understand personality, emotion, and energy. It is not science. It is a mirror for the soul, a way to learn your natural rhythms with the cosmos
Yeah.
and use. Never mind. The stars are a guide, but your spirit decides. So this is a map, not a rule book.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some people have the habit of taking it too
Very
far.
seriously,
A little too what is it?
literal.
Literal. Yeah. Little too literal.
Yeah.
Um
Which is why I always push like shadow work and knowing who you are,
yeah.
just logically knowing who you are. Because when you know who you are logically, then you can look at this stuff and you can go, that makes sense. Yep, I am, you know, me being off balance, feeling off balance so much of the time. Like I struggle to stay in balance. I have no earth sign in any of my like astrological signs. There's no earth. And that to me, it feels like that's why,
Yeah.
because I don't have the earth there.
Yeah.
And so I'm always having to really work at
Yeah.
being in
Something
balance.
you have to work extra.
And it doesn't come naturally. Whereas being a water sign, I am naturally emotional,
Yeah.
right? And my emotions can range from, you know, 0 to a
Same.
1,000 very quickly. That and I will
both
act on
both
my
water signs over
yes,
here.
and I will act on my emotions. So
Yeah.
I also have to keep that in check.
Yeah.
But
I tend to not act on my emotions as much, which is I think is pretty cancery.
yeah, that might have
So
something to do with your other
yeah,
signs and houses and all that stuff too.
there's so much.
We'll briefly get into some of that stuff.
So and it's not about believing or not believing. It's more of a lens or tool for self
Yep.
awareness. So
What do you have here? Just like every coat type has its own pattern, every person has their own star. Keeping that in mind.
yeah. So the big three.
The big
So the big three are the sun, moon, and rising.
those signs. You have your
Those
sun
are
sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign.
yeah. So your sun sign, that is your core identity. What you see is what you get.
And the sun sign, most people know their sun sign. You know what time of year you were born. My birthday is November 9th, and so I'm a Scorpio.
Yep.
That's my sun sign. Now, if you want to learn what your moon and your rising, you have to go and look that up, and that's based on the time you were born,
Yeah.
uh, as well as I don't know if location has
I
anything
think
to do.
I think
Location
location as
also
well.
has something to do with it. And that would be like the birth chart, which we're going to get into a little bit about that. But
Yeah.
so my sun sign, Scorpio, my moon sign is Leo, and then my rising sign is Libra.
Okay.
And your
Sun is Cancer. What is it? Moon sign, Gemini, and then the rising is also Cancer.
oh, so you're a double Cancer.
Yeah.
And you said Gemini. So
Yeah, Gemini moon.
you're air and water.
Mhm.
And I
A
have
lot of hot air.
I
So,
have water, fire, and air.
yeah, I don't have the fire.
I have water, fire, and air. I
So,
do not have earth.
yeah. So, but yeah, sun sign is your core identity. What you see is what you get. Your moon sign is your emotional landscape, how you nurture and process feelings, which now I'm like, I gotta check into what Gemini is again. And then the rising sign is your vibe and how others perceive you and how you
How you show up
yeah,
up to the world.
yeah.
Yeah. All your outward energy. First impression
Yeah.
is what I have down. So, just a zodiac in a nutshell, Gemini is curious and quick.
All right.
Cancer is nurturing and emotional. So for me, Scorpio is deep and powerful. So the way I show to the world is charming and balanced. Do I come across as charming and balanced? And then Leo is radiant and expressive.
Sorry, I'm
I-
still laughing at charming and
I
balanced.
know it too.
I mean, charming, I could get.
But I'm not balanced. But
Yeah.
I suppose I have been told that I come across like I'm in control or not in control, organized,
Yeah.
which is so funny because it's like I am
Yeah.
my.
But you do have.
There are squirrels up here. There's no organization.
Yeah.
at
I mean,
all,
you do have like a very like calming, like under control kind of vibe outwardly.
until I
Um,
don't.
I mean, I can see past it now. I see the squirrels.
Yes, yeah,
But I could see that. I could see you coming
Yeah.
off as balanced.
it's funny. I know I read that because I was writing this out this morning. I was copying some notes that I had made into this book just so I would have them handy, and I was just thinking, charming. Okay, so that's a good first impressions.
Yeah. Guess I'm pretty cancery. So
I
pretty watery.
feel like so my entire life, anything you read about so I was gonna say cancer, about Scorpio is that we're passionate, we're fiery, we're combustible, and I feel like that fits me. Like
Yeah.
because yeah, I can be very calm, but like when I'm not, you'll know it.
Yeah.
I will go toe to toe with people that I should not be going toe to toe with. You know, I think I'm much bigger than I actually am. But I can also calm easy too.
Yeah.
But I do kind of hold a grudge sometimes. Like it depends on what you've done to me or my family. If you mess with my kids, you know, which I think most moms are like that. You know, we're mama bears. Most of us are mama bears, and we don't, you know. I will though if my kid is wrong, we'll have that conversation. I have no problem having those conversations with my kids. Some parents won't do that.
Yeah.
They'll cover for their kids, and I don't cover for my kids.
fucked
I've
up.
upset my kids before because I've sided with a spouse because I can see where you're wrong. Just not right in the situation, and they get upset. But then at the same time,
They're like,
conversation.
yeah, you're probably
We
fucking
have those
right.
conversations, and it's like, yeah, you're right. But
I don't like it.
but nobody likes it.
Yeah.
But my kids have also done the same thing to me. You know,
Yeah.
they've also been able to point out, you know, when I'm
Yeah.
they usually just threaten to call my and they all have her number.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be quiet.
When you're getting this kicked out of hotels, should just be like, I'm gonna call her.
No, we needed to. That was totally not our fault. I did nothing wrong in that situation.
No, I don't think you did either.
I mean,
But it was
maybe I
awesome.
shouldn't have gotten loud with them, but
yeah.
it was
But it was great to see you toe to toe with that dude. Yeah. No, most of what I know about. Sorry, I keep getting. Okay.
that's why I shut mine off too. So
Yeah.
I don't get messaged.
What was I saying? Most of what I know about Cancer is tends to be more like inwardly emotional, not so much, and not as fiery.
Yeah.
But like, I'm kind of this, like how you are with your kids. I'm like, once someone's part of my family, stay quiet for most things, but you piss me off. Like the one fight that I got into ever in school was because someone was having an argument with my best friend at the time, and my friend left the locker room angry, and
Yeah.
the other girl went on a rant about what a bitch she was, and so I punched her in the face. Was it my best moment? No. Did I cry in front of the principal? Yes.
See, no, when I get really
He laughed his ass off.
when
He
I
thought it was
get angry,
hilarious.
I cry.
Yeah.
I remember getting into a fight with a boy in like sixth grade, and getting suspended, and my mom being all upset. And I remember telling her, "Well, he grabbed my butt," and it was like, "He did what?"
I'm
And
sorry,
I
what?
was back at school the next, and he was suspended a little longer. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I mean, that was long before, like, now, we're even more like, do not touch.
Yeah.
Um, so
Uh,
here it says, how do we connect? How do our signs connect us with our grooming or teaching styles? Well, I think for grooming, we've already had this conversation about my emotions, and, how I'm that word impulsive, and if my emotions are like quit, 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 I've done that. So that would be, not always very well, usually not positive part of my signs playing a role in my job, my career.
I would say because I'm more inwardly emotional, I tend to like I can be pretty calm for the dogs, and that kind of gives me a little bit of that edge because I like they don't always, how like the dogs can always feel it, like
Yeah.
yeah, they can feel it, but they don't feel it like as much as, like if Meg is the same amount of frustrated,
Yeah.
they feel it way more from Meg, so
I'm I have a hard time covering, and which is why I understand enough to go, okay, this isn't I shouldn't be grooming today. I need a break.
Mhm.
And I do that, and I take the break, and I may not tell my clients that, yeah, I'm having an emotional response and I feel like throwing your cat against a wall. No, I don't. Don't call anybody. I've never felt that way. But, I would just say I have a headache, because
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into, my emotional state with my clients.
yeah,
That's for me. And I don't, and because it's not normal. Like,
yeah,
I don't always have these bad days, right?
yeah,
But when I have the bad days, I can recognize them that they're bad days, and I should probably not
yeah,
put myself, do anything. There's times I do my horoscope, right? I read my horoscope, I look at my moon app, and I look at those things, and I read about, like, don't make any financial decisions today. And I think, huh, that's okay. I won't. I'll try not to spend any money today, right? I'll try not to make any financial decisions. But I try to do that because it's like, you know, this is kind of telling me that this is a weak spot for me.
yeah,
So don't do it. And so and I only know that because I've done a lot of shadow work.
yeah,
So I know these things about myself. But I do try to be mindful. And I don't always catch it before. Like, sometimes I'm in the emotion, and when I realize that, "Ooh, I took this too far. Like, I
yeah,
thought I had this under control. Clearly I don't." But yeah,
yeah.
we just have to know ourselves. I just realized my cat is not in her usual cubby.
Is she down there?
I don't see her down there. She's out and about. Where's my cat?
She might be hiding
That's okay. I'll find her
in the couch
I'll find her when we're done.
or over there.
I
But yeah,
usually make eye contact with her. Her little eyes glow at me, so she's not in there. Anyway, sorry
weird.
about that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's a good way to kind of like you have to know yourself. So, and
CoStar.
CoStar,
That's an app.
I believe I pay for it, but it's not much.
There's a free version, because I have the free version. And the free version, you can get some basics.
Yeah,
You can pay to get more.
yeah. I think I paid to
But
get more.
you don't have to pay just to get the app and find out your birth signs.
Correct.
But you do need to know the date and the time of your birth, or within, the closer to the time of your birth is best. If you know the exact time, you're going to get a very accurate, or a much more accurate birth chart. Whereas
Yeah,
if you're like within minutes or whatever, it'll work though. Um, you just have to keep that in mind. And then you do need to know the place of your birth.
yeah,
So yeah, if you have that information, if you have access to that information, if you have your birth certificate, it should be on your birth certificate.
yep. For those who maybe don't have access, just try to get as close as you can.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's not science.
yeah, it's not science.
It's just a guide.
Yeah.
And it may, and some of this, like I had mine is from Astrology. Um, and I got a free version, which was like a couple pages. And then I paid, I think it was $25. And they gave me like very detailed description of everything.
Yeah.
And then I paid separate to find it and everything. But it's there's stuff in there that I look at and it's like, that doesn't feel like it fits. But there's so much that does feel like it fits. Like it fits almost too.
So for co-star, for my sun in Cancer, says your sun is in Cancer, meaning you are fundamentally sensitive, nurturing, and gentle. Your emotions may seem like a burden to you. You're deeply committed to your relationships and being good to people you care about. You may have trouble with self-discipline.
Yeah.
um,
I wish I was looking up. Um, I was looking this up not too long ago. If they have like birth charts for pets or astrology for pets,
Cool.
and I haven't found anything. So to our listeners, if you know of a website or maybe you know a person that does birth charts for pets, I would love to. I
Yeah.
would love to know that. Like
that would
obviously,
be a
I
harder
have a
one,
lot
I
of
think.
right. I have a lot of pets where I have no idea what their birth dates are.
Yeah.
Right. But I do, like right now, I have 2 kittens that live in my house, and I know the day they were born. I don't know the time, but I know the days, and I could find out an approximate time. So I could find out, for them.
Yeah.
I'll have a puppy next year that I'll know at least the day of her birth. I'm sure if I reached out to the breeder
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, can you write down what?" And maybe they do. Maybe breeders do write down at 12:02 puppy A was born at 12. If they keep that track.
You want to find out your birth chart, Nibs?
Yeah, I wonder how much because I'm sure they do the same way they affect us. So I'd be curious.
But yeah, I think the big ones, try to look up your big 3.
Yeah, your sun, your moon, and your rising sign.
I think there's so many other things. There's houses and planets, and they're all great, but like, it's okay to just start with the big 3. If you want, just start with one. Learn about one.
Yeah, learn about your sun sign. Like I said, that one's easy. If you know your date of birth, you can find out. I think it's got to be on here. So let's see. December 22 to January 19th is Capricorn.
Yeah.
January 20 to February 18 is Aquarius. Feb 19 through March 20 is Pisces. March 21 to April 19, Aries. April 20 to May 20, Taurus. May 21 to June 20, Gemini. June 21 to July 21, Cancer. July 22 to August 21, Leo. August 22 to September 22, Virgo. October 22 to September 23, Libra. September to October. September 23 to October 22 is Libra. October 23, I said that backwards. October 23 to November 21, Scorpio. And then November 22 to December 21 is Sagittarius.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can look those up, obviously. I just wrote through messed up already, so.
Yeah. But yeah, sun, start with sun. That can kind of get you going. So, planetary personality. So we've talked about, so the sun is your core self. It's what drives you. The moon represents your emotions. And that's what soothes you, I guess. Mercury, the only thing I know usually about Mercury is Mercury in retrograde. So, but Mercury, communication, how you talk/think. Venus, love and aesthetics. That makes sense. What you find beautiful. And Mars is action, energy, how you assert yourself.
And there's others like, there's Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, or Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Every one of them has something. I don't have the detail that you have here for each of them, but you can look that up too.
Now I'm looking at my birth chart.
Yeah.
My Mercury is in Leo. I don't know what that means. Your Mercury is in Leo, meaning your intellect is persuasive, idealistic, and bold. A natural leader, you speak articulate, as I try to say articulately, articulately and with confidence. You use creativity and warmth to win others' attention. You may come off as overbearing or conceited. Read, probably. What's your Mercury?
I don't know. I'd have to turn my phone back on. Didn't look that.
My Venus also in Gemini, apparently. And my Mars is in Taurus. So interesting. Your Venus is in Gemini, meaning your romantic side is dynamic, curious, and easily bored. You love witty banter, but you may have trouble deepening your relationships. You tend to be a bit timid and discreet with your crushes because you don't know how to be forthright. Cool. Cool.
All right. Sun sign Scorpio, moon Leo, ascending Libra. My Mercury is in Sagittarius. Determines how I communicate, talk, think, process information. It also indicates how I learn.
Yep.
It's in your second house, meaning I am curious about and inclined to analyze what is valuable to me, the resources I have and the resources I want. My Venus is in Sagittarius, also in my second house, meaning that I love that for me, love is often expressed in money and material possessions.
Interesting.
I'm a material girl. You know, the joke, it's so funny whenever we go someplace or whenever I go somewhere that normally both Sam and I go and he's not with me because he's at work because he works
Yeah.
every third weekend he's got to work. So there's times when I'm without him and people will ask me, where's Sam? And I always tell them he's working. And they'll be like, "Oh, working," and it's like I'm high maintenance. That's my joke. Is I am not high maintenance at all, but that's my joke. Is that
Yeah.
I'm high maintenance. My Mars is in Pisces, and it says that's my fifth house, meaning I put a lot of energy into romance, self-expression, creativity, and pleasure.
All right.
And I'm not going to keep going.
I don't know. Did I look at my Mars? Yeah, I did look at my Mars. It's in Taurus. Meaning you assert yourself in a way that is practical, concrete, and relaxed. And you push things forward stubbornly. You rarely make the first move. But if I push things forward stubbornly, how am I rarely making the first move? But I am pretty fucking stubborn. Just saying.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
All right. Mars is your clipper speed, quick and confident or slow and steady. And Venus is your sense of style, breed standard or creative flair.
I like that. Just kind of like getting into like what it could be for in grooming. I wish I had gotten more of that. Did I put this together kind of last minute? Yes.
That's okay.
So astrology as a mirror for mindful grooming. Um, so understanding your own patterns can help in the salon. So like knowing your sun sign you'll know what energizes you at work. Your moon size will tell you what stresses or soothes you. Your Mercury is how you handle miscommunication with clients or coworkers. Mercury is definitely going to be like the
I have to go back.
the important one. My Mercury is in Leo. But yeah, like Mercury, it was talking about how it was about communication. And so Mercury is really going to be probably our most important one in the grooming salon. What does it say for yours?
It says I'm a big picture thinker. I find myself unconcerned with details.
Yeah.
I tend to be fairly sarcastic and make other people feel uncertain.
All I can think of is how like Meg always has to ask you, like, are you being sarcastic?
Yeah, I know. Yes. And I am always. My grandkids.
Like that was so on the nose.
The grandkids constantly. And they're starting to figure it out now. But yeah, don't listen to Mimi.
My Mercury, I read this already, but it was the meaning your intellect is persuasive, idealistic, and bold. This is where it says that I speak articulately with confidence. I mean, I definitely can be this way when I'm talking about a thing that I'm excited about, but that is about it. Thank you, ChatGPT. I have no idea what you're talking about. But
Well, it says using awareness to improve emotional balance in client relationships. I would say that's a lot of your courses
yeah,
kind of come from a different angle of grooming and client relations and and employee employer relations. You come at that teaching in a different,
yeah,
more emotionally balanced, saying that that's more important sometimes
yeah,
than knowing this exact length for an eyebrow of a schnauzer kind of thing, like it's a little more than, there's more to grooming than the breed profile. I think that's what it means. More
yeah.
just when that's stuff in there.
Common myths and misunderstandings. It's not fortune telling.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Um,
This is not, see, that's the thing. Astrology is not about telling your future. It's actually more about where you're at and how you've gotten to where you've gotten. Not
yeah,
about, what you do going forward. I think I said it earlier, was that, this is your map, not the rule book. The
yeah,
stars guide, but your spirit decides.
yeah. It's not about it's not to it's not telling you who you are. It's helping you find out who you are kind of thing. So Mercury retrograde isn't out to get you. Sometimes it feels like it, but it's just Mercury retrograde is supposed to be just a reminder to slow down.
So retrograde just means the reverse.
Yeah,
So when the planets are always moving, in the direction that they normally move in. And when a planet is in retrograde, it means it's actually kind of moving backwards.
yeah,
But then it'll change course. Like, I don't know how the planets work. I don't know how the earth, how we rotate around the sun. And, I just know that we do. But yeah, so when you
it all
hear
does
that,
a thing.
right, when you hear that about it being in retrograde, which is why people think everything's so chaotic, because you're going in a different direction. So it can feel chaotic.
Yeah. Well, and Mercury, I don't know if it's Mercury. It determines how you communicate,
Yeah.
talk, think, and process
Right.
information.
So if it's moving backwards, you might be struggling to process or have
That think.
communications, right? So that's what
um,
it is.
oh, big stretch. Sorry.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and it's just a reminder to slow down and not make rash decisions. Maybe just don't make big decisions during Mercury retrograde. That'd be great. And just remember that, remember that not everybody else is feeling it the same way you do. I think it's important to know, I think it's really good for us to know when these things are happening, because then we can understand, okay, this is why I feel this way. And everybody else who doesn't know what's going on could also feel like they're feeling this, but they don't know what they're feeling. You know, like
Yeah.
they might be also be having troubles processing and thinking, and they're just going to react because that's what they do. But this
Yeah.
is forcing you to go, hey, I don't need to react this way. I just need to slow down. So that made sense, right? Another common myth and misunderstanding is you are more than your sun sign.
Yes. Yes. And here's the other thing about sun signs. I've heard people use them as excuses, for maybe bad behavior or a bad decision, like, oh, well, I'm a Scorpio, so
Yeah.
I can't be trusted. Like, that's not cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like, let's not be using these, you have control over what you say and what you do. So if you said or did something inappropriate, own that shit and then make an amends for it. But
Yeah.
don't make excuses. Like I had said, like learning who I am, learning things about myself, and then looking at my birth chart, it was easy to go, oh, that makes sense. For me, it helped me see some of those areas that I can't control or that I can't change about myself. Like, this might be something, and I want to, stress that it might be like, if maybe I'm not in a place to change it or work at changing it. But
Or it's going to
just
take you a while
or it's
to
gonna
change
take me
it.
a while to change it. So maybe this isn't the time to try to change it, and I just have to learn how to live within it.
Yeah.
But I don't want that, but I also don't want that to be an excuse for, you know, bad behavior. Like,
Yeah.
if you discovered in a birth chart that, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, say you're always late.
Yeah.
Some people really struggle to be on time. and maybe there's something in their stars, in their planets that, yeah, that's kind of a thing. If you're this, that,
Yeah.
you struggle to be on time. That's something that you show. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't learn to be on time or I can't change the things I do so that I am on time. But it's something that I can look at and go, yeah, that's a difficulty for me. And it makes sense
Yeah.
that it's
And
here for
that's
my
something
birth
I have
chart,
to put a little extra work into,
like me
you
being
know.
balanced.
I
I
have
have
to be aware that I run late all the time, so I should add 15 minutes to, my plans every time or something like that. Yeah. Cosmic homework. So we want you guys to all make sure you look up your big three, and we should definitely put a thing in the group at some point asking for everybody to comment what
okay.
signs they are. They're big three. And then you can ask yourself, do you feel more like sun, moon, or rising sign at work? Maybe think about like maybe how those signs are affecting the way that you communicate.
Yeah. How do they show up in your grooming situations? How do they show up with the pets, with the people? Like I've talked about, my non-balanced or that quick to frustrate, how that can show up and what I do about it too. Like not just how it's showing up, but what am I doing about it? But I think recognizing it is always like that first, you have to recognize that there is a problem before you can address a problem. You have
Yep.
to recognize that it exists. And you have to own that. Like, yeah, I get frustrated, you know. I have never hurt an animal at work. Like I've never taken my aggravation out on an animal. I do see that I could get to that point, and that's why I haven't yet,
Yeah.
because I know it's possible. Like I know there's a line that we could all cross.
Mhm.
Like, maybe it's going to take somebody a lot longer to cross that line, whereas maybe I'm closer to that line some days than others. I've never crossed that line, and I don't ever want to cross that line, which is why I try to recognize, okay, this is a good place to say, yep, I'm done. I can't finish this cat. They're stressed.
Yeah.
I'm stressed. Whoever was stressed first, we're both stressed. We're stopping because it's about safety. And then and we're also recognizing, is this a cat I'm going to try again, or is this a cat that I'm going to have to let somebody else mess with? I know my limitations, and I don't they don't make me any less of, a groomer, or,
Yeah.
like they don't define me as a groomer. Like,
Yeah.
just because I know what my limits are doesn't mean that
Yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't
you
change what kind of a groomer you are. Yeah. I see. So, like, I talked about how, like, the emotion, like, being a more internal emotion person, it can be helpful for like the dogs and stuff, but it can also cause a lot of issues. First of all, I am very sensitive. I'm better about it now, but especially when I didn't know much, I didn't understand myself, I would take a lot of things very personally. But then on top of that, I'm also internalizing it. And eventually that builds up and it turns into something much bigger where, them saying something that I took personally, like as a personal attack, when it was literally just them just having a conversation about an issue at work, fixing, like trying to fix the problem kind of thing.
yeah.
And then it would turn into like this big resentment. And so I've had to learn to realize when, like, pay attention to when someone actually is being personally like personally attacking me or not reading into the passive aggressive kind of it's not even so much that it's I read into their vibes too much, their emotions too
Yeah.
much. And so they might have a grumpy face when they say something to me. And so, my brain goes, "Oh, they hate me," but now, like, I might feel that initially, but then I'll go, okay, they didn't actually mean it that way. Um,
And you know what? And there's nothing wrong with getting a
oh
clarification.
yeah, and I will.
I know, like, and I think that today, the younger generation, new generation, and the generations that are coming after you are much better at. It's funny because I see people always talking about, oh, they don't know how to communicate because they're always on their phones and they're always, like
Mhm.
social media. And yet I see it as, I think they really do know how to,
Yeah.
because they're more honest.
Yeah.
It's, my generation and, the boomers and shit before me, like, we're the ones that, like, we don't own our shit,
Yeah.
or we didn't. We don't all. I mean, I think I do. I think I own my shit now, but I had to go through a process to learn how to own my shit. And there are times when I still struggle.
Mhm.
Like, I would rather, like, make up a story to cover my ass.
Yeah.
Like I said with clients. Now, I think there's a time and a place. Like, I'm not going to give my whole personal
Yeah.
mental health history to every client I meet. So if I'm having a bad day and I just, well, you know what, I have a headache. That's enough. They don't need to know. Or I just don't feel good. They don't
Yeah.
need to know any details of that. But there's also times when, no, I should be giving more details. I should
Yeah.
be more clear,
Yeah.
and not just go, yeah, it's just a headache. I just don't feel good. No, I should be talking about it. And
Yeah.
I think the younger generation is better about talking about it. I made the remark about getting into a fight because a boy grabbed my butt. He assaulted me, right? So was it serious? No, like, it wasn't like he didn't, like, it didn't escalate past that,
Yeah.
right? And it was one of those things where the boys on the schoolyard were run by and touch a butt,
Yeah.
and but that's not okay. It's
It's
also
not o
it's
it's
also
not
not
okay.
okay. Like, I'm not trying
Yeah.
to minimize it, but nowadays we actually teach students in schools personal space. I don't remember anybody teaching me personal space in school.
Mhm.
Like, if something happened, a teacher might go, keep your hands to yourself. But we didn't like instill it as teachers and parents, and I see my kid instilling things in her, and I see other people instilling in their kids. This whole boys will be boys is bullshit.
Yep.
That's an excuse for shitty behavior. Locker room talk. It's an excuse for shitty behavior, and we need to stop it. We need to call that out.
Yeah.
And I see that happening now with the younger generation, and it's stilling. I think because so much of the younger generation is like, we ain't standing for this shit anymore. People my age and even some older than me are realizing that, yeah, that's not, and it never was okay.
Yeah.
It was acceptable by society,
Yeah.
didn't make it okay, right?
You have a fuzzy on your shoulder.
That's my butt. I don't know where it's at.
Uh,
Glad you could
oh,
touch me.
it's just the way your hair was sitting.
Oh, okay.
It was, like,
This is my
sticking straight
my
up.
matted hair. Um, but yeah, I don't even know where
Yeah.
came from.
No, I get what you're saying.
I think the
Yeah.
younger generation is. I think they're fucking way more evolved than we are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I do believe that.
Mm, and I agree with you. And I also, I always hear about, they're always in their phones, they don't talk to you, uh, they don't do all of the, like, um, they're so rude. I get they're so rude for customer service all the time. And I'm like, are they rude? Or is it that they don't feel like they need to, like,
Small talk and
small talk and all
cater
of
to
that
your
bullshit?
nonsense. Right? Yeah.
Like, I don't need to have a whole conversation about your fucking grandkids.
Every time I go to the grocery store,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Um, like, that's the thing. Like, the people that I have the most issue with when I'm out in public and them randomly talking to me, fucking boomers. Like,
Yeah.
they just start conversations. I hate
Yeah.
I don't wanna have small talk.
It wasn't until my kids were grown, and actually probably even more so when my oldest had, like, her first child, that it's really began to click with me just how I had come up, and all the bad things that I learned that I did thought were okay and acceptable. I'll still wave at babies, right? Like if I see a baby in a store, I'll, make faces at them and wave to them and try to get them to smile and wave back. But there were times when I would touch a baby's toes. Like if their little bare feet were out, I would touch their little toes. Totally innocently, right? Just trying to get them to smile and laugh. And the reality is nobody told me don't touch my kid.
Yeah.
You know,
But they should have told you, don't
they
touch
should
my
have
fucking
told me,
kid.
well, nobody should have to tell me
Yeah.
don't touch my kid. I didn't even think about that as being me sticking my face, in which I didn't get this. I did never got this close to strangers' children, but like me sticking my face in a kid's, stroller to see them. I shouldn't do that. I remember when my oldest granddaughter was born, my daughter had come home from the hospital, and because I was out there with her for a couple of weeks, so the baby was tiny, and her neighbor came over to meet the baby. And they just came over, they brought her, I think they brought a card and a gift. And the woman, they're older couple, reached out when she wanted to take the baby. My daughter's dog jumped up and she pulled back, but she did it twice. She reached a second time and my daughter took a step back, and she didn't push it after that.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking in my head, like, well, you should have let her hold the baby. She just wanted to hold the baby. And then being like, wait,
Yeah.
like, and no, you shouldn't just hand your baby to somebody because, like, yeah, she's a nice woman. Is she going to hurt the baby? No.
Yeah.
Is she going to try to steal the baby? No.
But she doesn't
She
need
still
to touch your
doesn't
fucking baby.
She still doesn't need to hold the baby,
Yeah.
right? And that was like a boundary that I really didn't even understand because I had been raised in this, this respect your elders, do what your elders say kind of society, speak when spoken to,
Mhm.
that, hugs and kisses all around. You have to hug and kiss everybody when you're, visiting.
Yeah.
This is how I was brought up, that I never realized until I'm looking at my daughter and my granddaughters and realize that how intrusive
Mm-hmm.
that really is and how wrong it is. Why are we forcing children to hug and kiss people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm the same thing. I mostly saw it from I like to follow gentle parenting creators on
Mhm. Ah,
social media.
yep.
Um find just the whole thing, like gentle parenting, very fascinating, the whole psychology of it. But like learning from these people who are like, you don't have to let people touch your child. And, they're explaining like they have a rule of, they do not force any sort of affection between their kids and anyone else. They're like, even with me, I do not force them to show me affection. I will ask if I can have a hug, and if they say no, I say, "Fine."
Okay. Yeah. Same thing.
And,
Same thing.
like, it was one of those things that they said it, and I'm like, "Huh."
Because you weren't raised like that.
Yeah. I'm like, that
Trying to
makes
kiss Uncle Tommy. Even though
Yeah.
Uncle Tommy had no teeth and smelled like, a brewery.
Yeah.
I had one of those uncles. It wasn't Tommy. And he was actually one of my favorite uncles. But
Yeah.
yeah, he drank too much, so he always smelled like beer and his teeth were rotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, you gotta,
Yeah.
hugs and
I was
kisses.
always too like, I was told I was a weirdo because when I was younger, like, my family was very much like, you kiss each other, like, good night and stuff like that. It was, and there was nothing wrong with it.
Right. Right.
I didn't like the fact that someone's lips were touching me.
Right.
Just didn't want, it wasn't about them. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't about like showing, I just didn't want to show my affection that way.
Yeah.
And so when I started being like, no, I want to do kisses, and they were like so hurt. And I remember that. Like, and so like,
Right. And
I ended up giving my like family members, like I was kissing them like way later than I would have naturally because I was made to feel bad about it.
Right.
And now it's funny because like I'm very careful about like like with my nibblings, when they go to bed, I'll ask like, can I have a hug? And
yeah.
if they say no, fine.
You say, okay,
You
good
know,
night.
but
Yeah.
they're so like they have now gotten where they want to give me like a kiss goodbye. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I guess you can. Like, I was like, I never felt comfortable with that when I was their age, but
Right.
they just feel
comfortable.
safe with me and they want to. And I'm like that I could have wanted to, like, when I
Yeah.
was younger. I just didn't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but especially seeing like the kids growing up, you
Yeah.
see it a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's yeah, I am a staunch ally for younger generations. I have
thank you.
much hope for, well, not yours, but the ones after you. No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
But I also can understand like the whole, they're rude or they're on their phones, because yeah, you do see that, and I see phones in places where I honestly, you're at work,
yeah.
you don't need
No,
to
and
you
I
don't
can
need
agree
to
with
be
that, but
looking
that's
at your
also
phone.
not everyone in that
No, it's
generation,
not.
you know?
No, it's not. Right, it's not. I just read that
Also, sometimes I'm
Wisconsin.
like, yeah, they're not getting paid enough to not be on their phones at this point.
Yeah, well, that too, but they're still doing a job. But
Yeah.
anyways,
If
uh,
you don't want them on your phone, pay them more.
yeah. I just seen that Wisconsin is our governor signed a law for banning phones in schools. And I have very, very mixed feelings about that, because it's like I get the argument that they're distracting. I get that. I also know we live in an age where school shootings are a very real
Yeah.
reality.
I will say,
And if I'm my kids at school now, my grandkids are young. They do not have cell phones at this age. I don't know if any of their friends do, but I know my granddaughters do not. But like I know there's a lot of like I have nieces that are in high school and they have
mhm,
cell phones, and like I feel like I want them to have their cell phone. I want them to be on them.
I
Because
am very against the whole no cell phone thing. I have seen schools that have put into a practice where they have to put them into like a little bag that like
right,
they can't get any reception basically,
right.
but they still have their phone.
Yes.
It's just in that bag. I'm fine with,
Right, and that's what I think. You
but
can have rules that the phone has to be off,
yeah,
that the phone, have classrooms have like a cubby where your phone is in the cubby.
yep.
You know,
I am fine with that, but especially if I had a kid, I would absolutely not allow them to be in a school without their cell phone. Um,
not
and
not today.
it's because schools are not a safe place.
No, they're not.
I mean, even when I was a kid, so where I grew up, it was K through 12 in the same school. So when I was in middle school, I had a cell phone. It was that old Nokia brick phone that I had like 100 minutes. And it was mainly for me to have for when I was in like sports, and so like when we were on our way back to the school and I needed to get picked up, like I'd call to let them know, that kind of stuff. But I always had my cell phone in my locker. And there was one day I was walking through the cafeteria, and our office is like right next to the cafeteria. And I saw my sister limping into the office. And so I went to check on her, and she had fallen from the monkey bars, and she didn't know it at the time. She had broken her ankle. And this was the third time she had been back because they were just giving her ice packs and telling her to go back to class. And at that point, I went and got my phone, and I went to the one place where I could get reception, the band room. And I called my mom, and I'm like, you need to come pick her up. And like they were going to make her like
Go through the
go
rest of the
through the
school and
entire
then
fucking day.
get the bus home, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And her ankle was broken. And like I could see how swollen it was and she was trying to like limp there. They didn't give her anything to like
Right.
help her,
Right.
nothing. That was kind of the moment where I was like, I don't trust, schools aren't a safe place. And I know that not all schools are like that,
Absolutely.
but I also know that there's a lot of schools that are still like
Right.
that. And I would absolutely like even that was a small thing. So like
We
I
need
just cannot be okay with having have those kids be completely
we,
cut off.
we need more parents' responsibility with their kids, that, not everything is an emergency. And I like you said, that I think, your phone has to be in a bag.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be out. Not even in between classes. I think that's part of the problem too. Is kids, as soon as they walk out of class, they're on their phone. We need to do a better job of teaching kids that you don't need to be on your phone. You know, and adults don't need to be on their phones at work. Like, how many of us? Like, I'm a groomer. If a cat's chilling in the kennel for few minutes, I'm on my phone,
Mhm.
right? I used to do it with the dogs too, right? If the dogs are, I'm not actively working on them. I'm putzing around on my phone. Like,
Yeah.
maybe these are things that we should all be looking at for within ourselves. Like,
Mhm.
not about necessarily telling other people, but within ourselves. That this is work. Maybe I put my phone down and I work, and then after my hour of work or 2 hours of work, then I can get
Yeah.
and the same with kids. You're at school. You don't need your phone. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be using it. You don't need to. You're
Well,
at
and
school with your
especially
friends.
nowadays,
See them.
parents can have so much control
Thank you.
over their phone now,
Yes.
their kids' phone.
Although I think kids are much more techy and can override their parents a lot easier than.
Yeah, but
But I know
there
what
are
you're saying.
so many options out there. There's things where you can make it so that they can only contact like 5 people. You can make it so that,
Emergencies.
you can have there are also programs that like it'll set up a do not disturb type of thing where they can't use it other than emergency calls during school. There's also like apps out there, a lot of people worry about like, the trouble they can get into being on the internet because it is a scary place. But like there's also a problem with privacy with that. Um, you don't need to be reading every fucking text message. There's apps out there that are specifically checks your kids' messages for specific things. And then if those specific things pop up, it'll message you and be like, you need to talk to them about this thing, you know?
Well, that's the other thing. It's just having a communal. Instead of invading your children's. I don't know, how did we get on this? We're talking about astrology. Instead of invading your child's privacy, have a goddamn conversation.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that, like, I didn't grow up with a lot of privacy, but like my mom was very respectful. Like, I couldn't touch her purse. Like, I could bring her purse.
But you don't go
I
inside
don't
that
go in
purse.
that
Yeah.
purse, right? Like, she was adamant, you do not go in my purse. Now my stepmom was like, it's in my purse, go get it. And I'd be like, well, just get it. Mix signals. Um, I don't care.
Yeah.
There's nothing in my purse my kids can't see. There's nothing in my purse my husband can't see.
Mhm.
So I don't care. But there are things that I do hold private. Like, I don't want you to, unless I hand you my journal to read, or I, show you something specifically I want you to read that I've written. I don't want you to,
Mhm.
open this book, right? This is mine. And like with my kids, like, if this is your bedroom, I don't put your laundry away.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing your dirty laundry out either. So if you got shit that needs to be cleaned, I'll grab a dirty basket. But if there's shit on the floor around the basket,
That's your problem.
I'm not dealing with it, right? I'll teach you how to use the washing machine. They learned very early. They just did their own laundry, or they made sure it was in a basket. But I didn't put their shit away. I put their shit on either in a basket or on the dresser, and you put your own stuff away.
Mhm.
You decide where you want to keep your stuff. And
Yeah.
I tried to make sure that they had some privacy, because
That's
they're
important.
little people.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
because they're children doesn't mean I lord over them.
you gave your kids privacy.
Yours was taken
You know,
from you.
mine was taken from me a lot. And so you're talking about like how, you're not worried about like your husband, going through your purse or your phone or whatever. I have nothing to hide from my husband in my phone. Nothing. Um,
My husband doesn't look at
like I know damn well I could hand him my phone and there's nothing.
me. Right.
And the same with like I have no problem. I'm fully aware that John, like, he could get into any of my email, my anything. Like, but if he was to look at my phone without me specifically saying, "Hey, look at my phone," I
Right.
immediately get a panic attack.
Right.
And it's not because I'm hiding anything.
No.
And it took a while for me
Yeah.
to understand that and then for him to understand like when I'm having this panic moment, it's not because I'm hiding things.
Right.
It's because I want that privacy. Like that's that one. I used to have my phone looked at every fucking week,
Right.
and they go through every goddamn text message in front of me
Yeah.
and read them out loud. Like,
I mean, I didn't grow up with cell phones, so
yeah,
obviously nobody was in, I didn't have that be invaded. But even my dad's house, my dad, my stepmom, they were, I don't even know if it was so much a respect of my privacy as they just didn't care. But I don't think they ever really went through my things. I don't think they did. They never brought it up that, hey, I found this.
still have
I
uh,
had anything, but
yeah, I still have habits of like any if John writes me a cute note, immediately I want to throw it away. Because I like,
because you don't want somebody else to see it, or
yeah, it's just like, because if I kept any sort of like written thing that had even just like, you know, friends being like, hey,
yeah.
love you, have a great day kind of thing, like that would turn into a whole thing. So written on paper,
Yeah.
immediately want to throw it away.
I did have my privacy breached for a bit. It was a thing that, so I do know what that's like. But
yeah,
I also know
and I,
that changed, and there was circumstances, and it was.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I just think
no,
as
and I
parents,
still
we still,
things that I want to keep. I
yeah,
hide them in places. I
yeah.
have like certain hiding kind of places that were the few places that she didn't look. So I kept money and notes in my CD cases.
Don't tell them.
I mean, it's not like I'm putting a whole lot of money in my CD case. I don't have any CD cases, but I also did it with books. So for years, I'd go through CDs and be like, note, because then I'd forget that they exist.
Oh yeah.
So I did it. It was CDs and books because she wouldn't look in those places. I still have a habit of like, I don't do it, but like my immediate reaction when I have any sort of like personal conversation via text, just like, if I have a really deep conversation with a friend about like they were struggling with this thing and we were talking about deep emotions, I almost always will delete it just because it's just that immediate
Yeah.
habit of like, nope, got to get rid of it. That's what happens when you don't give your child privacy.
Yeah.
I am 36 years,
Right.
35 years
And
old.
that is something that, yeah. I mean, people parent the way they parent.
Yep.
I can't stop anybody from parenting, and I can't tell you it's right or wrong. I just know how I was brought up. I know how I tried to bring up my kids and the reason. And I just think, these are, and I did for, the first part of their childhood, I tried to, rule them and control them and make them do what I wanted them to do.
And
Live through them
it
kind of
didn't
thing.
work.
It didn't work, and it didn't work. And and all it really ends up doing is it drives them away. It makes them resentful. It makes me resentful, right?
Mhm.
Because they're not mini me's. They're not gonna, do
They're not going
everything.
to do exactly what
No,
you want them
and
to.
and that's on me. I just because I gave birth to I gave them names, and I hope they like their names and I hope they keep their names. But the reality is I don't get to really make all those other decisions for them.
Yeah.
They get to make those decisions themselves.
Mm.
And I'm here to
You are just here to keep them alive
I'm
until they
here to
could
keep
take
them
care of
alive until they can
themselves.
keep themselves alive. I'm here to support them, and
Yep.
and I want to guide them. Like I don't but I want to guide them like
Through making their own decision.
right. It's
Yeah.
not about like don't do it because I said so. I mean, how many of us grew up with parents
Alexa, stop.
that would be smoking a cigarette and telling us, don't smoke, don't ever smoke, don't drink, don't ever drink. So many of us grew up in those households where that was a thing. And what,
Don't you fucking swear.
right, and then, right, God damn it, watch your mouth. Yeah, like, and how many of us, like, as soon as nobody was looking or listening, we were doing those things,
Yep.
and
I was swearing up a storm behind their backs
I mean,
because they didn't want me to.
I still have friends that have this, well, when they turn 18, they can do whatever they want, but as long as they're living in my house, and it's like, okay, I mean, it's your kid.
Yeah.
You're kid, but it's also like that you do realize that, you know, that's how your parents behaved with you, and you kind of hate them for it,
Yeah.
you know? Is that the kind of relationship you want?
Are you sure you
You know,
want
to be
this?
anyway.
Yeah. We got off on a weird tangent
We
there.
sure did. And you edit any of that you need to edit. I would
That was fun. I liked it.
Well, I
Um,
should really try to do a better job of this is supposed to be witchy grooming. So often I forget the grooming part. 'Cause
it's hard.
yeah, like yeah, they're so separated in my head,
Yeah.
and they don't need to be, but they
Yes. We
are.
are working on blending them.
Yes, and I need to really look at a better way to blend.
You want to do our poll?
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
you go for it.
So
What did Dibbler pick this time?
he picked memory.
Okay,
So the flower is the forget me not,
imagine that.
and the butterfly is the New Zealand red admiral. This small and unassuming flower has a deep and rich history and symbolism that spreads throughout Europe. It is said that when the creator was handing out colors to the flowers, he came to the end and heard a faint whisper of forget me not. The flower was thus gifted the small amount of blue that was left, resulting in their soft, pale blue color. Forget me not has been used as a symbol of remembrance since the 1300s when Henry the Fourth was exiled from England. Henry kept the flower as his symbol once he returned. Lovers took to wearing forget me nots when their significant others left for war and again in the memory of those killed. Few flowers have held the same meaning in so many cultures. To move forward, we sometimes need to reflect on our past. When this card makes an appearance, it is asking you to think back on some of your favorite moments. Delve deeply into the memories to find the experiences and people that bring you joy. You may not have to go far, even something that happened yesterday can be a catalyst that prompts you to bring more joy to your existence. This is a time of reflection and collection. Throughout your day, steal small moments to recall the happy times in your life. Think fondly of people and experiences who've helped make you who you are today. That's a
That
good one.
works well with astrology, actually.
Yeah.
It does. Looking to
Yeah.
work well with shadow work too.
Yep.
So
So, yeah. So we talked about all the things,
all the things.
all the astrology.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll probably have to do a more in-depth one at some
Well,
point.
it'll come up. Well, I
Uh,
think like a lot of these topics, they come up
yeah.
naturally. Like we talked a lot about shadow work again in
Yeah.
this because shadow work is so important to every aspect of the craft. So yeah. And now I'm learning more about astrology that I didn't even know.
Yeah. Um,
Kind of like when like tarot too, like like they're simple. I say simple. I don't know them, so they're not that bad simple. I haven't tried though either. But like there's a simple ways to like remember the cards and what they mean, like the each number, and then of course the each what do you call it? They're the cups, swords, the yeah.
that's
Those
why I like the
yeah,
oracle. I can
there's
just read
ways
the
to
book.
right. Well, I read the books too for the tarot, but like there's simple ways to to put it together to
Yeah.
learn it. And I think there's simple ways to learn like the planets too.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
so too.
you gotta my daughter said something this week when I was out there about priorities and what you make a priority. If you make this a priority, you'll learn it. You'll want to do it, you'll make it happen. And she was kind of specifically talking about my younger daughter who just got her license. And she had a license when she was still in high school. She got her license, but then she just never drove. And then I think she just kind of like, she was a little fearful of driving. And then when she moved out there, she never had a reason to drive. Plus, it's so much scarier to drive out there. But she recently was like, you know what? I need a car. I need to be able to drive. Like
Yeah.
I have a responsibility to do certain things that I need a vehicle to do. And so she put her mind to it. She made it a priority
Yeah.
to drive, and she's driving well, and she's driving without fear. And so I think like with all of this stuff, if I want to make astrology or tarot or whatever part of this path a priority, I can learn it. I
Yeah.
can do it. Uh, right now, I'm just happy being eclectic and just picking little things from
Yeah.
everywhere and just
I think that's how where
utilizing
I'm at too.
what works for me. And it's very personal. This is a very, very personal path.
Yeah.
Just like grooming.
Huh?
It's very personal. I do things the way I do things. And yeah, I mean, I get that, there's an order and there's, but ultimately I can still it's a very creative
Yeah. You,
career that I
as
can
long as you're getting the same result and you're not hurting
I
anybody,
use. It's
then
funny. I remember people would say about, like, somebody would talk about like a groom or what you charge or what how your the haircuts and stuff, and somebody would go, well, my clients are happy and that's all that matters. And then of course there'd be the like, really? But your clients, maybe they don't know any better.
yeah.
Are you sure they're happy, or are they just, you know, well, this is what it is,
Yeah.
right? Like, and also my thing is that stunts you.
Yeah.
Like if you have that attitude. Like I get it though, because like right now my clients are happy, right? With what
Mhm.
I do. Does that mean I should stop learning or stop growing? No.
Yeah.
You know, so I still go to seminars myself and listen, and I try to learn from other people and I follow other people, and because I think it's very important that we stay,
Yeah.
that we keep our brains
Well, yeah. I mean, if
active.
you still groomed the way that you were taught,
Oh
you would be a
lordy,
very different
I would
groomer.
be a terrible groomer.
And
Yeah.
the way that you were taught at the time was like,
Was how a lot of people my age
it
were
was
taught.
kind of the standard.
It was kind of the
So,
right, and sadly, it's not the standard for a lot of groomers. Like, there's still a lot of groomers, even younger groomers, that are coming up learning that way, and it's a shame. And we
yeah.
need more schools like yours that teach a different way, because yeah, that old way is not the
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and that's why I very much am. I tried to bring in other instructors so that they see different ways of doing things. And like, if my way that I'm teaching them doesn't work, we adjust it, you know? Like, yeah, I teach them my procedure, how I do things in my order. But then if they're like, do I have to do this here? No, you can do it whenever you want.
Nope.
Just make sure it gets done?
Yeah. Right. And that's
Um,
the thing.
and
You're
like,
not only
yeah, sure,
telling
there's
them,
things.
you're teaching them your procedure, but you're telling them why.
Yeah.
Why I do it like this. It's not just, there's a reason. Like for me, if I'm going to remember to do all the things, this is the order I need to do all the things. And if I go out of order, I might forget a thing. For somebody else, you do them in a different order. I think where I know we can agree is just finish one thing before you move to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't care if you scissor the legs first or last, but make sure you scissor all the legs and put your scissors down, and don't scissor one leg, clip the next leg, do the nails here, now clean the ears, then go
Mhm.
back and scissor. That's when you take way too much time, you start messing up, your dogs don't look balanced because you're all over the place. So it's more about just teaching you whatever order you want to go.
Alexa, stop.
Just go in an order. Why is she so sensitive today?
She's being a bitch. I'm about ready to.
Be like, we're done. Anyways, we rambled a lot.
Yep, that's fine. Uh, but yeah, that was it.
Did you say the thing?
Not yet. As above, so below. May your pets be clean and your spirit glow.
Bye.
Bye.